Steve, what were the instructions over the course of the day that produced a vastly different result than last night?
Well, there was a couple. I think number one, we talked about responding after a lackluster 40 minutes yesterday, and taking advantage of our home games, and that's something that we have to do in this building. We knew we were going to have a good crowd. They were vocal all night. They allowed us to stay excited in the game, and we just needed a good response, and fortunately we got that tonight.
Josh Levo breaks out of a slump, and there was some design that you put into that.
There was. We met after the game last night with Dave Poulin and Steve Staios. We talked about some player movement both in and out of our lineup, and then some line combinations, and we agreed maybe giving Josh an opportunity to play with Greg McKegg when he was having success earlier in the year when Trevor Smith was here. Let's not forget that Josh was playing with Greg McKegg, and they had some chemistry, so we switched it. Spencer Abbott's such a creative guy. We thought he could handle going down to 2, playing with Kenny Ryan, and ultimately that worked out as well.
Garrett Sparks comes up with a huge save at the end of this one. That's a huge confidence boost for him, I'm sure.
Well, he was great all night, and I think followed up by that save. Brad Staubitz got a little bit too cute in the neutral zone, turned the puck over, but it was nice to see Garrett make that save. But that was just a highlight for what I thought was a real good night for him.
McIntyre's out tonight, lower body injury. Can you expand?
Yeah, you know what? Just he sustained a lower body injury in Grand Rapids. It doesn't look like it's anything major, but for goaltenders and lower body with their movement, we have to make sure he's healthy. Drew wasn't his best yesterday, and we thought it was best to get Christopher Gibson up here, and we'll address the media more as we know more.
Was that the second game against Grand Rapids?
It was game 2, yes.
Steve, with the absence of John Michael Lyles, obviously you've talked about Corbinian and Hoser being a big factor on the power play. How much more important is he now with Lyles no longer with the organization?
Well, you know what, I thought there might be a chance to get Johnny back, but now that he's in Carolina, that chapter closes, and we're going to need Holzer, obviously TJ Brennan, Kevin Marshall, Stu Percy. Those guys are going to log some minutes on the power play, but we'll miss Johnny. He was a tremendous teammate. He was a surrogate coach while he was with us, and we miss him, but it's nice now that some of those younger guys are going to get those power play minutes.
Keeping on the subject of the power play, you had Spencer Abbott playing on the point today. Is that something you see yourself doing a little bit more often this year? No?
Yeah, we will for sure. You know what, he did that in college. He's got tremendous poise. He's able to make plays from back there. He doesn't have the heavy shot, but he seems to find a way to get that puck to the net, so we'll use him back there and have 4 forwards, but that's a unit that has to start a power play. We can't finish it with it because we don't want to get him caught out there 5-on-5.
You talked a little bit about meeting with Steve Staios and Dave Poulin about player movement in and out of the lineup. Talk about Brad Ross. He's struggled this year, sort of had a little bit of a breakout earlier in the year, but hasn't really found his groove.
Again, you know what, this is a tough business, and it's an entertainment business. There's good days, there's bad days, good weeks and bad weeks, and you know what, you talk about confidence. At this level, you've got to find confidence, and the way to find confidence is to work harder, and he's got to work harder. It's a simple formula, but he cares. He's a passionate guy. He's a high draft pick. We all need this to work, but Brad has to be better, as do some other players in this lineup. But for a player like Wade McLeod, he comes in, he takes his job today and plays a tremendous game, as he did in Grand Rapids. So this is a competitive business, and for everybody involved, and it's hard not to understand, or it's hard sometimes for these young guys to understand why they're in, why they're out, but we need to win, we need to develop, and this is part of the maturation process for Brad Ross.
Mike Duca had a fairly solid game yesterday. What was the reason for him not being in the lineup?
We lost. We lost a hockey game. He turned over a puck, took a bad penalty, and they scored on it. And that's the fine line we're walking right now with healthy players. And obviously the decisions we made with Steve Staios and Dave Poulin were the right ones.